So we already mentioned what tool can you use that's easy to get a hold of to figure out what does somebody's eye angle is. Grab a business card, right? All you have to do is start on the inside of their eye and then go to the outside of their eye, and literally you line up the card and say, is it even angled? Does it angle up or does it angle down? So what if the angle is up? They are up for, tell me about the upside of things. Tell me about the features. Tell me about the benefits. Tell me about the positives of your product. How is it going to help me? If it's even keel, they can go for the positives or the negatives. And then if you meet somebody whose eyes angled down, they're looking out for the downside of things. What are the ahas? What are the gotchas? What are the things to look out for? So when I used to go and do presentations for any customer over $1 million, I was flown around the US and I literally would look around the room and figure out if their eyes angled up, you talk about the features and the benefits. If they were even angled, I knew I could talk pretty much about anything. But if they angled down, I knew I needed to talk about the downside. So how do you talk about the downside with people? Well, you talk about how this isn't the first generation of our product. It's the second or the third generation. And here's what we had to do to overcome the problems in the first prototype or the first generation. And then if it's there, the upside, you talk about the features and the benefits. And because you're usually presenting to more than one person, what you look for is, what's their eye angle? And then when you're talking about the pros and cons, the pros, you look for the upward angle. If you're talking about the downside of things, you go for the people who have the downward angled eye, and you talk about what we had to overcome. What were our challenges? What did we learn from the first generations? What were our mistakes that we overcame with the current version of the product? So you can literally look at somebody and solely based on their eye angle, you figure out, how do I speak their language? Are they even keel? Are they looking for the upside, AKA rose-colored glasses? Do they have a downward angle eye? Are they thinking about the downside of things? Are they thinking about, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? They're the ones that work in great departments like IT, legal, QA, because they're constantly looking out for what are the things that somebody else may have overlooked, especially if they're all excited about the features and the benefits like the upward angled eye. So once you learn to start dealing with people, you just start looking and thinking, what's their angle? How do I speak their language? Do I talk about the upside of things? Is it even keel? I can talk about the pros and the cons. Or is it a downward angle? So I need to talk about the problems that we already overcame, because that's the way that people think. Once again, if I ask you, hey, are you married? It's a personal question. This is where a wedding ring would be. This is your personal side. This is your professional side. So who are you talking to? Which side of the person's face? Is it a personal decision or is it a professional decision? And then what's their eye angle from there? So we talked last week about eyebrows, then we talked about eyelids, now we're talking about eye angles. So you can see, you read people top to bottom, left to right. Why left to right? Personal side, wedding ring, professional side. So that's how you learn to read faces over time, is top to bottom, left to right. Once you master one thing, like eyebrows, why do I teach eyebrows? Because eyebrows lead to eye contact. Then you look at upper eyelid. Then you look at eye angle. And as we continue to go through these sections and these posts, you're gonna learn more and more about what their faces say. With that being said, have a great week. Follow us here for more tips and tricks at settleskills.com. Have a great night.